What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Straight Betting. Today is not late, Monday, May 26th. This is for Tuesday, May 27th. Knicks Pacers, game four. Knicks got one. They came back, made an improbable comeback, man. I thought they were going to get their ass kicked, go down 3-0, Tibbs 0 over, cat trade. Like, what the hell was that? Man, how much can the narrative switch in one half of basketball? It's kind of crazy how basketball works sometimes. But yeah, guys, I'm recording right now. It's currently 7:37. The Wolves Thunder tip off in an hour, so your boy's got the butterflies in the stomach. Obviously, a big game with props. We'll see how that goes. You guys are probably gonna watch this video, and we went like 0-5 or some shit, and the Wolves lost, and I'm just at rock bottom. I'm kidding. I really hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, man, butterflies in the stomach for sure. Really hope the Wolves can tie this one up. And yeah, enough talking about the Wolves, man. What am I doing? We're talking about Knicks Pacers game four. Guys, I have a ton of thoughts on this stuff. But before I get into that, man, if you guys do enjoy this type of content, just make sure to drop a like, sub to the channel. It goes a long way in supporting the long-term mission, which is to grow and to, get more people to see this, man. So on a real note, man, it just is super greatly appreciated for people who do go the extra mile to hit that like button and sub button. All right, Knicks Pacers game four. Like I said, let's set the stage here. Obviously, it's in Indy. Indy is 2.5-point favorites. Game total of 220.5. And man, I probably tend to agree with that, right? I would say give the Pacers the slight edge, even though Nesmith and his game time decision, guys. Nesmith is super important to this team, so that could shift my opinion. To be completely honest with y'all, like if Nesmith doesn't play, I kind of actually think the Knicks win. But if he does play and if he looks all right, probably agree with the spread at 2.5. So yeah. All right, guys. Anyways, I do have a ton of notes, man. I think that adjustments are coming. I think that there's a ton of stuff that's like up in the air and that, you know, could throw betting angles off. So I do only have one official play, which I'll give out in a second. But honestly, guys, I do highly recommend y'all stay for this whole thing because I think I have a ton of stuff to bring to the table outside of just plays. But yeah, man, like I said, I have a ton of thoughts and I took a ton of notes and I'm going to get into all that stuff. All right. Let's start off with the play, of course. I'm going with Jalen Brunson over 29.5 points. I believe the best price in market is at FanDuel. Let's see. Oh, I switch games. Where's Jalen Brunson? There we go. Best price in market. Okay, yeah, no, my bad. It's at DK. I played it at FanDuel just because it's the night before and stuff. But guys, always make sure to shop around for the best number on this stuff. Obviously, if you have DK, MGM, play that and stuff. But yeah, make sure to shop around for the best price at all times. And guys, speaking of shopping around for the best number, I'm going to take a time to shout out Novig. It's an app that I'm pretty confident will have the best number on Brunson by the time this video is live because it's a peer-to-peer sweepstakes app. It's legal in 42 states, including Texas, California. Like I said, guys, it's peer-to-peer. There's less house edge, aka way less juice or vig on their lines. So they're going to have the best price in market most of the time. Make sure to click the link in my description to sign up for Novig. Use code BETTIN, that's BETTIN, when making your first deposit. They'll give you a 50% deposit match up to $25. This is a big way to support the channel as well. So make sure you guys go through the link in the description when you are downloading Novig and using code BETTIN to make that first deposit. And guys, I truly do believe that these peer-to-peer sweepstake apps are an absolute must because they really do have the best price in market most of the time. So yes, is this an ad read? I mean, yes, kind of it is. Well, it is. But guys, like I said, I truly do actually believe that like you're mistaken if you don't have these peer-to-peer apps because like I said, I mean, like they're going to have the best price in market a lot of the time. So yeah, make sure to hop on Novig, guys. All right. So Brunson, the reasoning behind Jalen Brunson, if you guys are still here, which I really hope y'all are. But the reasoning behind Brunson, man, is that he's still getting single coverage. Like last night, if you saw it, he had 1 assist. Like they're not really throwing doubles at him. He had 23 points. He shot 6 for 18. He got to the line 10 times. Of course he did. But yeah, man, he just played like shit. He also got into severe foul trouble because, he's getting hunted. But like I said, I don't think he'll get into foul trouble most games. Got into severe foul trouble, only played 31 minutes. Even maybe lost out on a couple minutes because Deuce McBride was just absolutely hooping and the team was hooping with him off the court. Like I said, man, I don't expect that to happen most of the time, even though there is some concerns about the Brunson Cat pairing on defense, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, man, let's not forget Brunson had what do you have? Brunson had 40 43 and 36 points in games 1 and 2. He had 23 points despite only playing 31 minutes. You know, you got to expect that most of the time. That's probably going to be closer to like 36, 38, 40. And, you know, this is like basically this is a must-win game for the Knicks. And yeah, he shot 6 for 18, man. This game was a worst case scenario. Like I said, they're not going to switch up their game plan. The Pacers aren't on defense because what lost them the game, and I'm baffled that they continue to do this, is that they're putting a center on Miles Turner when Josh Hart is on the court and he's not looking to shoot whatsoever. Or they're putting a center on Karl Towns. They're putting Miles Turner. That's probably why I said that. But they're doing that, and yeah, that's what lost them the game, man. Because Cat's gonna kill center coverage all the time, and I don't know why they're doing that. That's an adjustment, by the way, that I think could potentially be coming, and I'll talk more in depth about that in a little bit. But yeah, they're not going to switch anything up on Brunson. Brunson was far from the reason why they lost this game. The volume on a per minute basis was great, right? 18 shots, 10 free throws in 31 minutes. That's great volume. Minutes should go back up. Let's not forget who Jalen Brunson is either, guys, right? Y'all trust Jalen Brunson to bounce back in a must-win game? Because I definitely do. Jalen Brunson is that dude on offense in the playoffs. And let's not forget that because of one stinker. This is still a must-win game. This is still Jalen Brunson we're talking about. We're getting like a discount from last game. I believe this line was 31.5. So now we're getting a discount too. Still an absolute must-win spot, man. And this is just going to be great coverage. He's going to get the single coverage. So maybe he starts off on fire and forces them to adjust, but then it's probably going to be too late anyways. So yeah, JB over 29.5 points, minus 115. Like I said, shop around. But yeah, Jalen Brunson over 29.5 points is my official play. And let's get into the rest of the thoughts, man, because I do have a ton of thoughts. Pulling up my little note sheet that I made. I'm not playing around today, boys. I'm not playing around. So here's my first note that I made. Cat and Jalen Brunson have a team worst net rating. Like, that's crazy. Like, your two highest, well, I guess maybe, I don't even know if Brunson's the highest paid player, but your two like all NBA guys just can't play together, which is crazy. So I'm a little bit in my feelings right now because I've lost on Cat props in back-to-back games. I backed him. He gets benched. I faded him. Then he just rebounds like a madman. I'm a little bit in my feelings, man, but I kind of think that one of the two, they're going to have to do a little bit of staggering going on. And I think that like 85% of the time in must-win playoff games, maybe like more than that. I think that like 95% of the time in a must-win playoff game, that the person who's going to catch the short end of the stick, if there is any sort of staggering that needs to go on, is going to be Cat. I love Cat under PRA, man. I really do. What is it at? 34.5. I know he just crushed this line. Look, man, I think that there's multiple outs to this one. I think that if they do go to the cross matching by putting Turner on Hart and then Siakam or Nesmith or whoever really on Cat, that's what's been giving him fits the entire playoffs, and it just makes sense to do that. But also, I think him catching the short end of the stick in minutes is on the table. Of course, it's not a guarantee that the cross match is going to happen. I think that's smart. I think that's what they should do. It's not a guarantee. And then on top of that, we got the minute concerns. Like I said, man, I think that there is a decent chance that there has to be a little bit of staggering. And like I said, I seriously think that 95% of the time in a big moment, like it's going to be Cat that sees the short end of the stick if there has to be any sort of staggering between Brunson and Cat. So yeah, love Cat unders, man. I think it's a great look under 34.5 PRA. I think that it's like a minute. It would be like a minute-based fade almost, but it could be a matchup fade too if they do indeed go to the cross matching. So yeah. Next note that I took, guys, Miles McBride. He has a team best 23.7 net rating. That's like the best net rating on the team by far. I'll pull it up right here if y'all don't believe me. I'm on the Pacers stuff right now. Let's go to the New York Knicks. This is in the conference finals. Net rating. Deuce McBride. I mean, look at Landry Shamet, man. Look at Landry Shamet. 50 net rating in 11.4 minutes. But yeah, guys, Deuce McBride stuff is very interesting because, like you said, he's been giving them amazing minutes. Just on like an impact basis and helping the team win, which is, what you're looking for in the playoffs for projecting minutes. So he played 15 minutes last game. He had one first half minute, guys, and I'm not lying when I say this. He picked up 3 fouls in 1 minute, which is just absurd, by the way. But 14 second half minutes, right? Like, assuming he doesn't have some absurd shit, he probably plays like 26 minutes. And that's like in line with what happened in games 1 and 2, 26, 25 minutes. I think he's going to play like 24 to 28 minutes. Like I said, Campaign fell out of the rotation as well. So it's like in the non-Brunson minutes, it's like Deuce kind of like running the show to an extent. So I think that could be pretty valuable. This is 24 to 28 minutes. Obviously, guys, like I said, gotta be objective. Regular season hoops are way different than all that stuff. This is with Brunson and Cat. 17.3 PRA average. This is a 10.5 line. And I don't know why I didn't play it, but I really do like Deuce McBride here, man. Like I said, what was his? I want to see what his usage was last game. Yeah, usage was 28 and a half, up from the games. Brunson foul trouble 100% helped that out, like 100%. But like I said, maybe no campaign also did help that out a little bit too. So Deuce McBride stuff, I'm very interested in. I like his 10.5 PRA a ton. Something I might end up adding. But yeah, like I said, man, Deuce McBride stuff I think makes a ton of sense. He's just been awesome for them. So yeah, when you're talking about the rest of the role players scheme wise, like I said, the offense is mostly going to run through Brunson, and they're going to play him in single coverage. That's just like tough for the other guys. Like Josh Hart, I bet it's under last game, man. I swear this dude had a grifted random transition free throw, like that the team just wasn't getting back on defense. Made both of them. Then he had two fouls. He got fouled twice with like less than 40 seconds left and like hit 4 free throws. Like, when you're fouling to extend the game. So this dude didn't do anything, bro. He took 3 shots. Yeah, unless they do the cross matching thing, which would open stuff up from Hart. Hart's gonna get no usage. Like I said, Macau, OG are probably gonna continue to do like their thing, and their lines are like pretty accurate and stuff, in my opinion. So yeah, scheme wise, man, the only thing that I think that the Pacers might adjust is the cross matching, right? But also, um, that has to happen with Josh Hart on the court. And Josh Hart did basically play every minute of the game outside of the ones that he didn't start, right? He didn't sub out, I don't think, in the first or second half. And of course, Deuce McBride foul trouble might have played a role in that. Brunson foul trouble might have played a role in that. Cat foul trouble might have played a role in that. So who knows? But yeah. Last thing I want to talk about on the Knicks side of things, I wonder if Josh Hart gets inserted right back into the starting lineup for Mitch, because yes, they won the game. So that indicates like you won the game after you made the lineup change. Okay, why would we go back to the OG starting lineup? Well, because Mitch didn't play in the whole fourth quarter. It was like weird lineups that made the comeback. Like that starting lineup playing together like was not the reason whatsoever from them winning the game. Like yeah, they just didn't really do anything. I wonder if I have anything pulled up on this. We could. Okay, I'm not gonna take the time to do that. But yeah, I can just like guarantee that the net rating was like not good whatsoever with the starters playing. Like they didn't play good. So yeah, man, I wonder if Hart goes back to the starting lineup. And that's just like a final thought that I had. That I just would be cautious on betting Josh and Mitch stuff right now, because I do think that them going back to the normal starting lineup is in the range of outcomes. But also, let's be real, probably not, right? You won the game, you probably just stick with it, even though it wasn't the reason. I'm just saying that to be a little bit cautious about it. So yeah. And then I do want to mention one more thing too. So if they do stick to the same lineup, Mitchell Robinson, he played 11 first quarter minutes. And if you guys have been familiar with the Knicks this year, their rotation, Cat always only plays the first like 7 or 8 minutes of the quarter. That's it. So a Cat always gets subbed out there. They stuck with that, but obviously if you take Cat out, the Cat's the first substitution too. If you take Cat out, then you have to have a center. Tibbs logic, of course, too. Is like you're going to keep a center on the court. So I think Cat did come back in with like a minute left, but I think if Mitch starts, I think that he's without foul trouble. I think he's like a lock for 10 first quarter minutes. And if you do the math on this, man, I don't know if it's like an energy thing or something, but Mitch averages 2.4 first quarter rebounds per 5.2 minutes. So I did the math on this earlier. Per 10 minutes in the first quarter, Mitch averages 4.6 rebounds. So I know this isn't like very available and stuff, but Mitch over 2.5 first quarter rebounds, if he starts and pops up on another book, or I'll probably just play it separately or play it for myself. But I'm probably going to play Mitch over 2.5 first quarter rebounds. So I just wanted to mention that. It's kind of weird, but I kind of like it. And then final thing, guys, this is a live bet look. I've talked about the cross matching like 5 or 6 times already, but if you see Josh Hart getting guarded by a center at any point in the game, I'm going to be taking his over 0.5 threes. He hasn't been shooting whatsoever. and he hasn't been getting cross matched, and so like why would he be shooting really? But yeah, it's going to be super low. 0.5 threes. This is like a really low line for Josh Hart. Obviously, he hits a three most of the time. Let's see, like on the year, he's at like 67% of the time. He at least hits a three. So yeah, if you see that center guarding Josh right away, man, just head to whatever your favorite sports betting app is and look to see what Josh Hart 0.5 threes is at, because that's what I'll be doing. If you see him getting guarded by center, I think it's a very logical adjustment to be made. So keep your eye out on that. All right, guys, let's go over to the Pacers side of things. Pacers, I have noted, is like they're just continuing to attack Brunson and Cat. Nesmith and Shepherd are the ones getting guarded by Brunson. Yeah, so Nesmith, guys, like I said, Nesmith, I'm going to go over here, look at the Pacers net rating stuff. I know you guys might not like give a shit about this, but this stuff really does matter. So Nesmith is super impactful this series with a 9 net rating, on big minute samples, right? So yeah, Nesmith, he rolled his ankle pretty bad. Obviously, he returned to the game. He was definitely playing on adrenaline. They already said he's a game time decision. So I want to give some scenarios if Nesmith is going to play or not. Look, always keep an eye out for like videos and stuff to see how Nesmith's moving and warm-ups and all that stuff. It can give you a decent edge. If you see Nesmith just like absolutely laboring out there, look to play his under for sure. Yeah. So if Nesmith is out, I want to go over this scenario. Benedict Mathurin, I'm very confident, is going to have a pretty high line if Nesmith is out, even if he's coming off the bench. And I'm probably just going to play Mathurin's unders at like literally any number. So if we go to Benedict Mathurin stats, I'm going to quick pull this up. He's played 21 minutes in game 1, then 11 in game 2, then 8 in game 3, guys. Only 8 minutes. And Nesmith left the game for a decent stretch, maybe for like almost like a quarter of action. Only played 8 minutes still, man. If we go to these net ratings, they're getting absolutely killed in the Mathurin minutes. Minus 37.5 net. That's crazy, bro. That's like terrible. Like that's really, really bad. And Mathurin, honestly, guys, like he has all the talent in the world, in my opinion, but he just has like a lot of like low IQ moments, and you can kind of see like why he's kind of like Jonathan Kuminga. You know how like Steve Kerr, like you see Kuminga hoop, and you're like, bro, what are you doing? You got to play this dude more minutes and stuff. Well, he's kind of like in that bucket where he doesn't really impact winning a ton, and that's very evident by this net rating stuff. So, look, if Nesmith's out and Mathurin has a pretty high line, bro, I'm taking that under 100%. Another guy that I'm very interested in is a dude who doesn't really do much. He's kind of like a cardio guy out there, but he's a very smart player. He plays his ass off on defense. He's a great defender. Ben Shepherd, man, 32.6 net rating in this series. He played I think it was 8 or 9 first half minutes last game, and then 8 or 9 in the second half. He finished with 17 minutes. But I think that Ben Shepherd's going to play a lot of minutes here. Even if Nesmith is like a little bit hobbled, I think Mathurin might be out of the rotation. There's a chance that Nesmith is out. So I know that Builder has a 5.5 PRA line right now. And this would be an official play right now if it was more. I already sprinkled on it a little bit myself. But Ben Shepherd, guys, this is gross because this dude really doesn't do anything. I just think that he's going to play like 18 to 20 minutes here, man. And I'll take my shots on here. He's going to get guarded by Brunson in those minutes. They're going to be involving him in action a ton. He's going to be able to slip out for some screens and stuff like that. Get a little bit of usage that way. So, yeah, man. Ben Shepherd over 5.5 points. I think him to hit a 3 is a really good bet as well. Just at minus 120 over here. Like I said, it's not very available, but I just have a really big stance on Shepherd that he's going to play a lot, and Mathurin is not going to play either. And even if Nesmith plays, I think Shepherd makes a fair bit of sense because I think that Mathurin might be out of the rotation, like I said, and he might be hobbled and ineffective. So I really like Ben Shepherd stuff, guys. It's kind of gross, but just I'm high on his minutes. So next thought I have from Indiana, man, is I don't know how playable Tony Bradley is. I don't know why he keeps getting minutes. Miles Turner's been hovering around like that 33-minute mark. And look, man, you got to win this game if you're Indiana. You're up 2-1. I wonder if this Tony Bradley stuff just kind of disappears a little bit. So Miles Turner, like I said, 33 minutes, 31 minutes in overtime. So I think he even played a little bit less than that. Look, man, I kind of think Miles Turner might come back to life a little bit as well. Look, the matchup's great. He's getting guarded by Carl, Mitch a little bit here and there. Guys he can pick and pop on. Carl, he can do whatever he wants on. And his line's still at 14.5, which is, pretty low for Miles. So I'm a big fan of Turner PRA. Like I said, his rebounding's been a little bit rough so far this series, but I'm going to mention something in a little bit on why I think that might change. And it's going to be the same thing that I've mentioned like 100 times. But yeah, man, or PA for Turner at 16.5. Actually, no, I'd rather just go points here at 14.5. Yeah, big Turner fan, honestly, man. Really big Turner fan here. A big fan of his stuff. And I think that his minutes might go up a little bit. So yeah. And yeah, guys. So for Turner rebounds, man, this is another live betting angle. But you can maybe pregame bet it, and like if it happens, it's gonna benefit it a ton. Like I said, he'd be the guy who guards Josh Hart and just like sits under the rim. He's guarding like Mitch and Cat. He's not a great rebounder to begin with. That's just like brutal for rebounding, man. So in the Josh minutes, with actually, yeah, in the Josh and Cat minutes, um, look, if they go to that cross match, it's just going to be great for his rebound. So if you see minutes where um, Cat's at the 5 and Hart's on the court and Turner's guarding Hart in a half court setting, I'm going to live bet his rebound. So I just wanted to mention that for Turner. And yeah. Okay, any other thoughts I have here? I think I kind of touched on them. McConnell's been doing really good on a permanent basis, but the net rating stuff has been really bad for him. I wonder if he starts to go down. I kind of like Nemhard stuff, man. I just think 11.5 is kind of low line for him. Honestly, he's obviously he's a really good playoff performer. He's like a role player, playoff riser, as everyone says. But a big fan of this man. Obviously the pick and roll stuff's going to be good for him. He can hunt Brunson a little bit here and there. Halliburton, I'm out on Halliburton stuff personally, man. Dude, this dude Halliburton he's not very good at self creation. Like, and that's why people kind of clown him. But he is like really not that good at self creation. And they're doing all this switch hunting and stuff, but like a lot of the times, man, if that sidestep 3 isn't falling, that little sidestep, step back 3, whatever you want to call it, bro, it's like his self creation is not anything crazy. He's just like a very high IQ player and makes the right read like 100% of the time. That's where Halliburton's value comes. But Andrew Nemhard's someone who I actually like for him to like hunt Brunson. So yeah, that's why I kind of like Nemhard stuff, man. I think they should be giving him a little bit more usage. It just makes a little bit of sense to me. Siakam's getting guarded by OG. Nemhard can easily get that switch from Brunson and I think get himself a bucket. So yeah, Nemhard at 11.5, man, very strong lean to the over on Andrew here. All right, guys. Didn't touch on Siakam. I just never know how to bet on Siakam, guys. So I'm sorry about that. All right, that's gonna do it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Go Wolves, baby. I'm about to be sweating my butt off in about 40 minutes when that game starts. So yeah, one last reminder, guys, make sure to drop a like, sub the channel. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. And yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day.